Hey, this is the CHAOMADE
Collective Podcast.
Hey. All right, well, today we're going to be doing something a little different. Just to kind of elaborate on introducing ourselves, Kathy's going to be interviewing me.
Woo!
Take it away, Kathy.
All right, so basically, let's see here. Got my questions. Well, Becky's been cutting my hair for about 5+ years now.
Plus.
So, and
I really don't know how long. I really don't know how long.
I don't either.
It's been a minute.
But I'm glad that I found you.
Thank you.
But generally, I've always wondered, like, what got you started into cutting hair? Like,
Well, I guess I always thought that like cosmetology or beauty or cutting hair and stuff like that was just always like super cliche, like a girl going into beauty. So I was never one of those kids that was like, oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna do whenever I grow up.
no, I feel that.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you know, it's like teachers or like firefighters.
Even when they were asking me when I was younger in elementary, I'm like, I really don't know what I want to be. And everyone was so confident in what they wanted to be.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was just like,
I think maybe 6th grade, I said I wanted to become like a photographer, but that was like shut down immediately. Yeah, you don't make money off of art. So
that's what they say.
yeah, so I didn't know what I really wanted to do. But I mean, I did have a lot of like hardships so far as like getting my hair cut, getting my hair done. So, I was like, little sister's not going to go through that same pain. So she's definitely my first like guinea pig / little Barbie doll.
Yeah.
I didn't have Barbie dolls. I didn't really play with that when I was younger. But yeah, so she was that for me. And then so I've always kind of like dabbled. But it was just like a capability of being able to groom yourself and your little sister kind of deal. And I think that really the shift for me was whenever I moved out, whenever I was 17, I actually got my real estate license really young. And then I started working at a law firm, helping lenders take away homes kind of deal. And in the '08 crash, I got laid off. But there's two kind of like people that were like a big part of this amongst like everybody that was kind of still around me, that was like very supportive. It was really because like my resume supported the fact that like I worked at law firms. So I was like, got laid off, so maybe I should go become like a paralegal.
Yeah. I mean, you're like already lined up, so it's like usually you feel like wherever you start at, you feel like you go further in it. But like,
yeah, because all of my job experience was definitely that. So I told Edgar, the significant other, and was like, hey, I might go to become a like a paralegal, and then maybe I'll do something for hair like later. And he was like, oh, that's like a backwards ass way of doing things. I was like, just go do cosmetology. And the only reason why I even like thought about doing that was because there was a girl that I worked with at the law firm that she was a receptionist and she got her cosmetology license. So she had me cutting her bangs during like our like lunch breaks and like breaks and stuff like that.
what?
And she was just like, yo, no, like, let me take you to the school. Like, I think you can totally do this. Like, just don't work for a chain because I work for a chain and that sucked. And I mean, I just make more money being a receptionist. And so I went to go, like, tour the school, and I was just like, oh, my God, this is kind of cool. Like,
Yes.
It was actually Paul Mitchell. And then whenever I got laid off, I just lost contact with that girl. But another girl that I was really good friends with, the reason why I even moved out at 17, we lost contact, but she was going to Aveda Institute. So she was like, hey, come here. And I was like, oh, yo, this is closer to home. Like,
That's always nicer.
and Edgar and I were only sharing one car. So I was like, okay, well, this is kind of a better thing for me. So I actually ended up going to Aveda Institute, and I got a scooter to be able to, like, go to school. 150cc. 150cc, so I had to get my, like, motorcycle license.
Did you, like, know that you had to get your motorcycle's license when you purchased it? Or you thought you could get away with, like, just...
No, I did not. I had to, like, I was like, fuck, 100 cc's, you don't need your license.
No.
But it also doesn't go very fast, so
It's
Edgar
like
was
40
worried.
40 miles per hour.
Yeah.
You're
It's
just like,
40. This one goes, like, top speed, maybe, like, 70 or 80.
Yo, that's pretty fast for a scooter, man.
Yeah, but, like, Edgar was like, you need to be able to zip by people and, like, dodge people if you really need to. 40 miles is not enough. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
I can't believe you got a scooter.
I did. And throughout school, like, helmet and everything, helmet hair. And also, I don't drink and scoot. So,
Can you?
So happy hour starts. I'm like, yo, somebody's gonna have to take me home, but we're gonna go drinking. You know what I mean? Like,
Because me and Scoot.
no, you can't drink and scoot. That's not cool. Oh, or drink and drive for that matter.
And just in general.
Just in general. But it was like school was definitely really fun. I think I treated school in the school year because it takes 1 year to complete, and now it's like a lot less like hours or something like that. It was 1,500 hours,
Yeah.
and I remember people had to pay if you didn't finish your 1,500 hours between like your year mark. You had to pay extra money per hour to be able to complete it. So I did like every like fashion show,
Yeah.
every like event that they did for like model agencies, like anything that I could do extra, like extracurricular or part of the school, which they had a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool because the director was really cool at the time, so they were doing a lot of like cool charity stuff and all that stuff. So all the events helped me graduate earlier than that year mark. So it was
Yeah.
like it was really dope.
Just
But
straight hustling.
I wasn't about to change my major. It was like one of those
Yeah,
things that I was
like,
just
you were
like,
set.
this was it for
And
me.
you enjoyed it too.
I did.
Like
I thrived.
And it's like, it's not just one thing. Like you mentioned, like fashion shows and stuff like that, like different events. So like, it's great that you can do all those things and just like kind of doesn't get boring.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It did not get boring. I mean, we were like working hard and playing hard throughout that entire year. But that year it was 30 grand.
Yo, that's more than my car.
It is crazy.
Like-
It is crazy. And they don't give you your like license or anything. They just like help you complete the hours.
Yeah.
So like schooling in general, like it's kind of crazy like the concept of the way that like cosmetology school even works. Because there's
Yeah.
different tiers, right? And the reason why I picked Aveda was one, it was close to school. So
Yeah.
I mean close to home because then I can like scoot to school.
Yeah.
But it was also another thing where they said like all the established like schools were like old ladies that would always come in and like get their sets and all that stuff, and they all play like they're gonna follow you whenever you leave and you get
Oh,
played.
you gotta love it.
I was like, man, I will get played. I love old people. Like, you're gonna follow me. I'm gonna do such a good job.
Yeah, just like. And they're like, nah, I'm just here for
No,
school.
no, I was a sixth enrollment at Aveda, so like it was very fresh. And my friend that actually she was like the second enrollment. And so she's the one who told me about it and was like, yeah, it's a new facility. So you can probably like, and their biggest pitch at that school was like, oh, there's people that can follow you. Like, there's 5 people that have followed me from that school.
Hey,
But
that's-
I mean, it's been what, 10 years now?
Yeah,
So,
as long as you have one, it's word of mouth.
yeah, no.
Word of mouth,
And shout
man.
out to those people. You know who you are.
Yeah, like
Thank you.
that's because that school, like schooling like that's like very challenging, like because you're competitive with everyone that's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was,
so to actually have like one person follow you, I think is amazing. To where it's 5. God, like, cause like they're y'all. I remember going there like to the Veda because I got my hair cut there for like to help my sister's friend out. And like I just saw like lined up vanities, like
Yep.
everyone's getting their hair cut. I'm like, it's like a shop, like
Yeah, it's like a
low-key,
humongous like
shop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even
It's
know
a
this
big floor
Yeah.
of just like
It's beautiful.
it is. It is
but
a
I
very
could
beautiful facility.
I could see how competitive it could be, though.
Yeah, I definitely felt that it was a very interesting thing, and I feel like I thrived on it too because
Yeah.
it's like, you know, everybody's kind of waiting for you to mess up, especially because I won a bunch of like competitions and stuff like that
Yeah.
too, and I really enjoyed like the competitions weren't necessarily how well you can do hair and how pretty it came out and how like avant-garde you thought about it or anything, but you had to map it out. So if you did a specific haircut, you had to be able to like graph it out. You need to be able to say exactly what formulas you used and all this stuff. And you know, I feel like Aveda as a school like definitely had great educators that place structure that I feel like I learned a lot. I mean, I have nothing else to compare it to. I only went to
Yeah.
one school. 30 grand for one school is enough for me. But
Yeah.
I think that there was a lot of like brand loyalty.
Of course.
Like my own hair was not a Veda color, and every
Yeah.
day was like, if you're not wearing a Veda color, it's like no, like
That's like, it's sad. Not necessarily sad, but like, that's how most companies are like ran by too. Is like,
yeah, for sure.
some dentistry, like they push more of one product because it's like, I don't know what's going on in the back end, but you can do sensing, like, so like, then you see these reviews, like that's why I feel like reviews are very important. Like of products versus like, yeah, we can have
Yeah,
like
we didn't really have that
Yeah.
back then.
It was just like, this is what we have.
Yeah. And you
Then,
have
like,
to be a part of this.
versus
I
learning
mean, we
about
had
everything
to,
else,
we had to
right?
say the mission statement, like the Pledge of Allegiance, every Friday.
What?
Yeah, Aveda's mission statement.
Yo, I don't even know what my alma mater is for high school.
I don't.
Like,
Yeah, me neither.
to do that
I don't
every
even know if we
Friday?
have. Yeah, no, every Friday, and I would get picked out to go on stage, and I'll just like word it and like
Yeah.
yeah, and just like smile.
Yo, same.
Because
I'm just like-
I never memorized it. I just know like our mission at Aveda
Yeah.
is to care for the world we live in, which I was like, oh, I fuck with that statement.
Yeah.
But that's all I
Who wouldn't?
remember. To something. Yeah, I still don't remember it. That entire year, I had a year to memorize
So
that
like,
shit.
would you say like you've done the schooling? It's 30 grand at the time you're going. Like, who knows what it is now? Would you highly recommend that to someone that's interested in like doing what you're doing now? Like, because sometimes there's schooling for like so I went to technical school for dental assisting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Technically, I don't have to do that to get like to be a registered
Yeah,
dentist
you're talking about like driver's ed schooling compared to just getting your driver's license.
because like I didn't like technically there's people in the field that are dental assistants that didn't even go to school,
Yeah,
and you know what I'm saying, they just learn off of that. So I feel
Well-
like, I mean, with hair, like I feel like there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah,
So,
for
like,
sure.
Would you
So-
say like you recommend it?
yes, I mean it's recommended because I mean you have to complete your hours, like your completion hours. So like with cosmetology, it's all encompassing. So you have like pedicure, manicures, you have perm sets, stuff like that. You have to all complete
Yeah.
those hours, and then there's actual hours that you actually get to be on the floor working on clients, and then the school kind of like makes money off of you being there at school.
Yeah.
The structure definitely needs a little bit of refining because it's been in place for so many years. I have definitely lots of complaints on the fact that like you complete your hours, but they don't necessarily give a fuck if you get your license or not. That's all on you. And whenever you go and test with the state to go get your license, most of it is all it's all sanitation based, which is really important.
Yeah.
But then it's not necessarily capability based. So, I mean, if you don't really know how to cut hair and you know how to like be very sanitary, like you might get your license as long as you put in those hours. And the hours are a lot less now. I think it's 1,000 instead of 1,500. So that's also very interesting too on its own. But I mean, I loved going to cosmetology school just because I felt like I really thrived and felt as an adult that like, wow, I'm doing something that
Opportunity and
is building my own
experience.
Yeah, my own confidence. Like
Yeah.
I'm really good at this. Like
Yeah.
I never really thought that I was. I feel like I'm good at a lot of different things, but like to get confirmation, it was just like very, like
Rewarding?
reassuring.
Yeah, reassuring. Yeah.
Yeah, like, cause so I think in Texas, and I don't know, I'm just remembering what like this makeup guy told us, and he's like known with like production makeup in LA. So he comes and does like workshops, and he like talks to all the like major Dallas cosmetology schools, and so he'll recruit a part of his workshop to say, hey, come do my workshop and I'll teach you how to do like production makeup. But you're supposed to only have like a cosmetology license or I think an esteology license to actually get paid to do makeup legally.
Gotcha.
But so anyway, so we actually all signed up for the workshop and stuff like that. So there's like 40 or 50 students with like from Tony and Guy, Paul Mitchell, Aveda,
Wow.
Ogle, and
That's a lot of people.
it is a lot of people.
40 for that?
40 or 50? Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, to get this workshop. And it was like a 2-day workshop. And I remember whenever I was like, so the last day is like, he's like, oh, so you have an opportunity to use all of our little like fun like feathers, gems, whatever. And you guys can bring whatever you guys are to, be inspired by or whatever. So this creative look based off of like what you've learned in this workshop, you get to compete to come and get invited to our boot camp in LA.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. So I was like late because I was like going to Joann's with my fucking scooter, and I was like, I really want black lace. Oh my god, I'm gonna like miss. Like, dude, I was like 10 minutes late with my lace and my like in my hand.
Yeah.
And by the end of the class, he was like, so we walked around and we really like love what we're seeing, how everybody's like learning, but the one person that we really think that actually can and have the skills to pick it up, to actually, you know, win this opportunity to go to LA is Becky. And I was just like,
Yo.
I felt like The Price is Right.
Right.
Like, yes! It's like, oh my God, notice me.
Yeah, I've been noticed.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. That was such a dope experience. But
Yo, you definitely came up, like,
confidence-wise, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Doing, like, you know, your sister and your mom's
just
and, like,
starting out, like, trying to get
people
to
at the
school.
law firm.
Just trying to get to school, man, was a struggle for
Yeah,
you.
for
and,
sure.
like, to end up where you are now and, like, getting noticed for your creativity and your art within, you know,
Well, thank you.
what you do. It's, yeah, that's definitely awesome.
thank you. Yeah, so that's how I got into hair, guys. I
Yeah,
know, like, that
it's
was, like, a
just-
really long...
Literally, a homegirl was like, yo, I'm gonna do this. And Becky's like, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah, why not? She was like, you're doing a lot of people's hair. Like, I
Yeah.
saw, you know, so-and-so in, you know, this
And
department.
sometimes people see, you know, what would be good for, you know, if like, your friends, like, you know, like you're doing something and you didn't even notice that you could do anything with that.
Yeah,
and
for
that,
sure.
And that friend was just straight up like,
I would just focus on building my resume at that
Yeah.
time. I was like, okay, what work experience do I
Yeah.
have? What path do I need to get? It was just
Yeah.
more survival than,
Yeah.
like, allowing myself to be like,
what do I really want?
what do I really want? You know?
Yeah, but
and
it-
I don't know if I really wanted this. I didn't even know if I really
Yeah.
wanted it. So it was just kind of cool to, I don't know, be shown that on some, like, random... I don't even talk to her anymore. Shout out to, you know...
Her.
Her, yeah. I don't even remember
I
her
don't even know
name.
who her is,
I don't even remember her name.
but whoever she is, thank you for creating Becky.
Yes.
Or starting.
Thank you for, like, really pushing me.
Yeah.
Like, so far as, like, you know, it's always kind of been there.
Yeah.
It was really just kind of, like, getting, like, really bad haircuts.
Yeah.
Really bad, like, hair colored, you know, experiences, like, going to, like, these, like, Asian, you know,
I feel
hair
that.
shops.
It's just like, it's so hard to find someone that's consistent. And that's the thing that I had most troubles with.
Or that actually cares about your hair.
Yeah.
To be,
I-
like, walking in and be like, hey, I want this, but it's like, that
so-
might ruin your hair.
Yeah, it's so hard to find that in a person because, like, a lot of people, not trying to generalize, but, like, care about money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's quantity over quality.
Yeah, and it's like, I would rather pay for good quality. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
And be consistent. The thing is, like, people could show you one good day, and the another day you're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
And
consistency.
So, like, that was my problem. Like, when I first cut my hair short, I went to one guy, and it just kept getting weird and weird every weird time. Then I went to a franchise, and that franchise has so many people there, and, like, if you're not booking with someone, you're gonna be seeing someone random there every time.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing, consistency. I was like, damn. And, like, I really struggle with that, and I feel I'm kind of particular with my hair.
Yeah. You are very...
Because I
particular.
would like it a certain way. And my cousin told me about Becky, and I fell in love ever since.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
it's like, it's not even just like she's consistent. It's also the vibe. Like, my doctor says...
I get vibes.
Like, at my job, my doctor says, it's not the doctors that keep patients, it's the staff. Like,
Yeah.
she's kind of like the staff in a doctor.
Yeah,
all
for
in
sure.
one.
All
so,
in one.
So it's like...
A therapist.
if you don't have that, it's not gonna, like, you'll have patients or wherever you want, clients, but it won't be long term.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, everyone wants to come with a welcoming vibe and, like, actually
And that's also
care.
really, but that's also very important because I think most times, like, you know, I always have to have this disclaimer with everybody that sits in my chair to be like, look, you are with your hair more than I am, so please tell me what's up. Because, like, if you're not going in a magazine with my name on it, okay, fine, you don't have a choice there. But you have a choice. This is everyday people hair. So, I mean, you do look in the mirror a lot more than I see you. So, you got to tell me what's up. And if you don't communicate that and you don't communicate, you know, your concerns, your long-term goals, that's also another thing. I just got a new client. She's so cute. And whenever we were kind of, like, doing consultation via text, I, like, asked her, I was like, so what is your hair goal? And whenever she came to me, she was like, whenever you ask me that, I was just kind of like, offended.
off?
Like, yeah, I was like,
what do you
hair
mean?
goal. Like, my
what
goal is
do
to
you-
get my hair cut from you. What do you mean hair goal?
You
And I
got
was like,
hair,
no,
right?
I mean like long term. Like, what are you trying to see? Like, you want your hair thicker, longer, you know, like you want to see this, that, you know, whatever. And she's like, no, it made sense. Like, but I've just never been asked that.
Yeah.
And so, like, that was so new to me. And so she was really excited, just the fact that, like, just opening up that discussion. Because whenever you sit in my chair, it's not necessarily, okay, what can we get done today? It's like, what can
Yeah.
we get done from the future? So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, if you're worried about your hair thinning and, you know, like, maybe it's not just hereditary. It might be something
Yeah.
that you're causing, overwashing, stuff like that. And, you know,
Yeah.
you don't want to, like, threaten everybody in the chair to be like, you want to be bald?
Right? Do you want to have hair today, like, or not? Like, how do you
You
want?
can't. I mean, there's like 21 questions.
Yeah,
It's like, yo, do
right.
you want to keep your hair? You better come back to me. Like, I can't be just like straight up threatening people.
I would be like,
I'm
do
not
I?
coming back. She's probably gonna purposely make me bald
She
now.
just asked if I want to be bald.
No, I want to have hair.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like, with that, it's like a science with it too.
It is. It is.
And like people just think you're just slapping colors and stuff like that. And it's not just that, it's like slapping it a certain way and like coloring. And I think that's amazing. And like
Yeah.
people like to get certain things, like they don't understand like the process. And I think that's what anything in life that people want consistent, like they want, what do you call it? That thing like where you
A regimen?
instant
Oh,
gratification.
instant gratification.
Like, they
yes.
always
Instant
want
results.
that.
Yeah.
And,
No,
like-
it took a long time to get here, so it's gonna
Yeah.
probably take just as long to get back.
Yeah.
Because you know, a lot of people say like, "Oh, whenever I was younger, my hair was so much thicker." Well,
You're not.
you were younger, like you had more blood flow,
Yeah.
homie.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's so many things that comes to it. You know, like what are you
Yeah.
doing? So yeah, like care for the hair. Like
And-
that's
yeah.
that's it's not a lot of it's not common knowledge.
Yes, not. And the fact that you are very knowledgeable with all these things, and that helps a lot. Because, like, they feel more comfortable with it. Because that's how I became more comfortable with you. Was whenever you were able to, like, answer my questions and, like, help me understand X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And that's what people want. Like, it's also, like, it shows that you care and that you know what you're doing,
Yeah,
too.
open discussion. I say text me
Yeah.
at like 3 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
if you're getting ready for a date or something.
And you're
Let me know.
And honesty is also the one thing. It's like if well, I'm not saying you've never like you don't know like I've had people like say like I don't know. Let me look into that for you versus like bullshitting. And
Yeah, no.
you know what I'm saying?
I don't like to tell you something that I can't confirm.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
whenever we come up with barbershop news.
Yeah.
But that's not hair, you know. Barbershop news is like, hey, so and so, did you ever hear like they got shot and blah blah about this and
Yeah.
there? Yeah, no, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the whole North Park like the skateboard thing?
No. What do you mean?
Okay, this is barbershop news. I have not confirmed it. I've not Googled it or anything. But like, what is it? There was this, I think, maybe autistic kid that got really mad that Chick-fil-A wasn't open on Memorial Day or something. It was Monday, and then so he was banging his like skateboard on the
Chick-fil-A counter?
not maybe Chick-fil-A counter or one of the tables in the food court area. So people thought it was gunshots. So everybody evacuated.
Oh.
But I heard only pieces of that story.
I heard about North Park. Like there was an open gunfire at North Park.
And everybody evacuated? Yeah, no, it was a skateboard.
What? I didn't know that part.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's all barbershop news. You gotta piece it all
Bro.
together. But I haven't even Googled it, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's random.
I did. It was random.
Yeah.
So what's my next question?
Your next question.
That's like one question, right?
That was definitely one question.
My bad. That was a lot. That was a long. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it
Yeah,
in my
no, there
life.
is. I mean, like, it's because you get to like actually get into details with it. Because some people could be just like, oh, I did it because of this, and like,
Yeah, for sure.
you know what I mean?
For sure.
And I mean, like, I think
There's a lot that goes behind that.
at what point did you feel like, this is it? As in, like, I've made it, or that you felt like you are really happy with what you've achieved? Because you have your own studio, your own, like, name. And it all got created by just you. I mean, I'm not sure, like, I'm pretty sure you had help along the way. But in general, like, generally, it's you. Like, this is your, like, it was...
So far as like help building this business, not too much help, but definitely a lot of support. Like people that have been very loyal. Thank you for your loyalty. But at one point of success or feel like I've made it, I still haven't felt like that.
No.
I
Like when
feel
you
like
walk in, you're just not like, damn, like
no,
no.
I have not felt like that.
Really?
I don't know. I'm also like one of those people. There's something that maybe I need to work on or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that. At any point that you stop and smell the roses,
Yeah.
you get a little too comfortable, and then it's like, yo, on to the next kind of deal. So like, I don't know. There's not time to like stop and smell the Play-Doh type
Yeah,
thing.
I feel you, because it's an everyday thing for you to where it's like it's constant to where you're like, oh wow, like it's hard for you to step back and take a look. Because like whenever we had the event that we last had, honestly, I was just straight up thinking like, damn, like Becky made this like
Yeah, thank you.
happen. And obviously there's always gonna be worries with anything that you do.
Yeah.
And like, but it's all about having faith and also like trusting.
Yeah. I think it's really like a good support system. Like, like everybody around me right now, like understand. So to touch on the event that she's talking about, it was just a project that we're doing for a band to fundraise like visuals. So I'm the creative director for their visuals. They're going to be releasing an album with 10 songs, and we're going to try to place visuals on all 10 songs. So kind of like working on the core collective with Darlie back there behind the camera, and Kathy, and also Kim. Kim's also the esthetician that works at Chow Studio. So it's really just kind of gathering everybody together. Cow Noodle was also, shout out to Cow Noodle, Donnie,
Delicious.
Chef Donnie, Chef Brandon, and then also Nummy
delicious.
Cakes.
Yeah.
Like those are the 3 like food vendors, the collaborators that were a part of the first event that we did. But yeah, like I only had 2 weeks, and I'm actually pretty surprised when I was able to
No,
do.
same here. Like, I was like in my head, I'm like, yo, I'm happy if 10 people come. Like, I really don't care. Like,
No, but it was dope. It was dope.
It was a really dope.
Really
turnout.
good turnout.
Yeah, I did not expect it, and honestly, like, did I have worries? Like, not really, because I was like, Becky's handling it.
Well, thank you.
She's
There's definitely some worries.
yeah, I
I
know.
was like, oh shit, 2 weeks.
If there wasn't
but-
any worries, then it would be,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's part of the woes, but I do
Yeah.
enjoy the woes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to touch back on your question,
Yeah.
like
It really
the
felt that way.
successes.
Like,
I guess I'm afraid to feel that way.
like like when you say you do someone's hair, like someone that you're like,
Yeah. So there are
Like-
definitely everyday
you're like, holy shit,
successes. Yes, for sure.
like I did that.
Whenever somebody looks at themselves in the mirror, either a guy or girl, especially my boys, they like literally look at themselves and give themselves like a little bit of a smolder, and I'm like, okay, so you fuck with this haircut, all right?
I'm definitely one of those. I'm just like, good job.
They look at themselves in the shower. I'm like, okay, I see you.
No, seriously, I just love your background too, because even though you went to Aveda and all that fun stuff, you actually started out in the barber shop. So it's not just like you know how to do the longer hair with like cutting wise. You can actually fade.
Yeah, thank you.
And like
Thank you. I
It's-
try.
it's really hard. Like,
It is. The shorter the hair, the more mistakes you can see.
Yeah.
So people think that, men's cuts aren't that hard compared to like women's or whatever.
No.
But it's actually the straight opposite, because the shorter it is, the more mistakes that you're able to see.
Yeah.
And Aveda didn't teach me how to fade. It was definitely lots and lots of all these like hood DVDs and this like, hood barber that literally like made a DVD, and it's hilarious. I was like watching some of it, and it's absolutely hilarious. And what they teach you, there's this one hood barber, I forgot where he's from, but it's definitely not proper like Spanish. It's like hood.
What?
It's like hood Spanish.
Oh.
Like he
Okay.
just literally says like dose guard, like hit it with the dose guard, and then like blah blah blah, and then like the tres guard, and then like I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious. We need to watch the DVDs back.
Yo,
I'm pretty
I
sure I
am
can
down.
find some of them.
I bet you can find it on YouTube.
But I mean, YouTube, but I'm talking about like back in the day,
Yeah.
they were like passing it out at these like, these conventions and stuff like that. And I'm
I
like, oh,
fucking
okay,
love that.
dope.
That's like how you really learn.
It's like,
you're like,
fucking
okay.
It's like mixtapes of the streets, but it's like mixtapes of the
So,
hood
hey,
barbers.
hey, yo, homie, you want to know how to cut hair?
Yeah, you want to know how to fade up
Hey,
here?
check this out, bro.
Hit my
Check me out.
DVD up.
Hell yeah.
It's like-
You like that shit? You
We
can
should-
get buy two
I
for
should
five.
totally make one like that. No, because the
I'm so
DVD
down.
literally says English and Espanol. And I'm like,
Bro, where were you?
I was in, where did I get his DVD? Oh, Birmingham, Alabama. But I don't know where he's from.
Over there?
There was like a southern like hair conference that's supposed to be like really popping.
Ah.
I went 10 years ago, and I actually just went recently in 2018. Things have changed.
Yep.
Things have changed quite a bit. Before, we were like kind of like the forefront and got to know like technology and stuff like that. But now it's like super like China made, not proprietary stuff, and it's more like Instagram cloud based.
Oh, you gotta love it.
Yeah, that's also difficult because
I mean, like, to touch on that subject is like a different.
that's a whole
That's
nother
a
thing. We'll talk
whole-
about product, like a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, because like,
Do you have any more questions for me?
of course I do.
Darley's telling us we got 15 left.
So, have you thought, like, during the process of, like, creating this, was there at any point you were like, I don't think I can make it? Or, like,
yeah.
you wanted to jump into another field, like, maybe this is not for me? Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and what were you thinking at those times? And, like,
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Um,
And, like, what did you want to dabble in?
there was nothing specifically I wanted to dabble in. It was more sustainability, making
Yeah.
sure that I can pay back that 30 grand.
Yeah.
Because Edgar was taking care of us and
Yeah.
only one paycheck pretty much. And then also I had to build my clientele. So that was also, it takes time.
That, man, that's why I give you props for the clientele you do have.
Word of mouth is the best thing for me because I'm not at like a very like walk-in friendly place.
Yeah,
so.
no, and that's like what I was amazed of. Like, when I first came to you, I'm like, this is my initial thought. She doesn't have social media because social media is a really
Yeah,
big
I don't.
thing.
I'm pretty
Like,
bad at that.
and that's when I first met you. I'm like, you have social media? Like, how do you even get your clientele? Like, her website at that time was like very basic. I'm just letting you know that.
It is.
At that
it is.
time was
You're not hurting my feelings.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, and I kept thinking like, how is she getting all these people? You know
Under
what I mean?
construction on a constant basis.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
first she must be really amazing, and
Well, thank you.
I got to like, you know.
It's like I
And I
always
was
say like, you know, people are like, oh, I couldn't find you. I was like, yeah, the people that need to know where we are know where we are.
Yeah, it's actually amazing that she's gotten to where she is now. Because I'm like, how do you?
Thank you.
Like barely any PR. Like it's
Yeah.
just you.
Well,
and
no,
your
word of
client.
mouth.
Yeah,
Word of mouth. PR is definitely word
But,
of
like-
mouth. I feel like that human interaction is so
Yeah.
important to me.
Yeah.
I know I need to get with the times. I know I do.
But what you've been doing is working.
Yeah.
And I think it's great.
Thank you.
I got a chance to meet most of your clients, and everyone's just good vibes. And you know how they say like
Over
the
the
same
years.
energy, like just fuck with each other.
Yeah.
And that's what you really bring is like
Thank you.
people together. And I think also that's how we started this collective because
Yeah.
we all have good vibes and good like a vision of what we all like want.
Yep. And want to spread.
Yeah, and spread
Yeah.
too. So I think that's so cool that it just started from that, like all the vibes that I've gotten from everybody.
So what was the question again? I'm
I
so
don't
sorry.
fucking know. The
I
question was
I'm just like focusing on like,
Have
fuck,
you
yeah,
thought
I need
of
to work on
another-
my Instagram.
another. Have you thought of another field to jump into?
Another field. Oh, also, did I at any point did I feel like this wasn't gonna work out? Yes, because I had like 3 or 4 jobs at one
Oh,
time.
yeah, you did like Yogurtland.
Yeah, I was a GM of Yogurtland.
Yeah.
Because I started off at Galleria Mall.
Yeah.
So I was at assistant manager at Aldo Accessories, and then
Although too.
yeah,
the fuck?
that wasn't working out because I was just like the manager was just awesome. Like he just turned 21, so I was just like
How old were you?
I was already 23 at the time,
Okay, gotcha.
maybe 24, maybe 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, there wasn't even change at the store. So I was just like, man, he's really not really on top of like just being a store manager.
21-year-old
So I go
manager.
downstairs to get like, you know, there's a travel exchange, like money exchange.
Yeah.
And so there's like a homegirl there just sitting there counting money. I was like, I know you're not a bank. Can I please get change for my store? She's like, I don't normally do this, but here you go.
no.
So I started talking to her, and I was like, what do you do? You just sit there and count money? She's like, yeah. Everybody starts off at like 13 an hour. I was like, oh, that's
Yo.
like a lot more than like what I'm getting paid now. And also, it was
Really?
just like,
At Aldo manager? You're assistant manager? You get
yeah.
the fuck?
It was a lot less. But I mean, I knew it was like my side job.
Yeah.
because like, you know, doing hair was more of a focus. So I was just, as long as I'm filling up my time,
Yeah.
I'm not spending money, because, you know, friends
Just
would be
scooting
calling me
around.
like, hey, you know, I know you have appointments later on in the afternoon, so you want to go eat? I'm like, yeah. Do you want to go to the mall? Literally, this is how I got these jobs, because like I went to the mall. I was telling one of my friends, like, I need a second job. My grandma's asking me to go to like the post office to drop stuff off, and I'm like, man, they really think that I just don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
So I need a second job. So yeah, there's definitely been plenty of times that I felt like, okay, cool. And then also, like, you know, being a business owner doesn't come with, you know, group insurance. So
Yeah.
Travelex, I ended up working at the currency exchange.
What the hell?
That girl actually ended up being fired for
Oh,
something.
really?
I have no idea.
Damn.
And then, you know, just kind of from that point on, like, I stayed at Travelex, got insurance, and then Yorkerland was opening up, and there was some, like, drama with, you know, Travelex that I just was not about. I helped one of the girls kind of get promoted to become our manager, but she started getting real power hungry. She's like, my employees, and I do this and that, and I was just like,
Yeah, no.
yeah, I don't know if I feel this. And so she started taking away my hours. So I would do like 13 hours straight to be able to work 3 days out of the week, still keep my benefits, and then still do hair on the
Yeah.
days that were kind of like prime time for me.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how like I couldn't do that anymore. I had to work 8 hours, 5 days out of the week. I was like, yo,
What?
that's fucking with my money and my schedule, yo. Like,
Yeah.
I can't be doing this. So I went to Yogurtland, and then became the GM there, which I really love the franchisee that owned
Yeah.
it. And then helped my mentor. Yeah, but there was definitely lots of times in between that, and I was just like, maybe I should just go back to working at a law firm.
Really? You thought about going back to the law firm?
Yeah, it
No,
was
not realtor or anything. At one point, you're like, I want to go back.
no, because I never kept up with it, so I didn't even
Ah.
know what like renewing and
Yeah.
having to test it out again and stuff like that.
I feel that to where you're like, when you're, it's so hard to move forward and be positive, and like sometimes you want to go back to what you were so comfortable with.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
reminds me of the book The Alchemist.
Yeah.
You should read it. It's about your personal legend, what you're meant to be doing, but then there's always paths that teach you how to get there. I feel like everything that I've done has definitely led me here to like the
Yes.
people around me.
Yeah,
to,
like, seriously, Len. I always think like people that enter your lives, sometimes they're not there permanently, but they're there for a reason. Like your homegirl, she was just like, "Hey, you should do this," and she disappeared. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And sometimes
a
it works
reason,
out.
a season, or a lifetime.
Yeah.
Always say that.
Yeah, because like, and then also like, for people that I've met, they're always like, "Why is this happening to me? What is this like?" I'm like, you know, people enter your life for a reason to teach you or help you in some ways, but it's up to you on how you react to it.
Yeah,
and
for
if you
sure.
are doing the same things over and over again, that might tell you something about yourself.
For sure. And don't ever try to keep anybody that's, you know, not meant to be in your life. It only creates
Yeah.
like more
Because
bullshit.
and you just get, but those people just get so comfortable to with it, and they just like settle with it, and it's like that's becomes their norm. And when they get like normalized at that, and then they just get stuck with it.
Yeah,
because
for
they
sure.
don't, and that's because that's their norm. And like I understand why, but like I can't help but want to like help. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
But looks like
How much time do we have
it
left?
was 10 minutes.
It's 10.
Yeah. 7 minutes.
7 minutes. All right. Do you have any more questions for me?
Yeah, of course. Of course. This is might be an interesting one.
Okay.
All right, you
I'm ready
ready?
for this. You're
Well-
scaring me.
No, just it, like it's like what makes you different than any other hairstylist?
I care. I give a fuck. Maybe too many fucks sometimes. I don't know.
Like was like, oh, you should go to Becky. Like, why? Like, what makes Becky so great?
The
Besides-
education. I think the education behind your own hair.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, you know, a lot of just hair care, period. Caring for the hair is just, it's not common knowledge. So, you know, you have all these, like, big corporation conglomerates that, like, you know, have, like, advertisements that say, you know, damage to the hair, blow drying, you know, heat and all this stuff, and you need this and that and that. It's like, anything that we do here, if you've ever seen, like, a hairstylist kind of, like, do, I can't speak for all hairstylists. Well, like, anything that I do here, flat ironing, blow drying, coloring the hair, you know, it's not damaging. And nothing's necessarily damaging. It only turns into damage when you're stressing this hair out this much, right? And if you're not doing the same amount of care, then it turns into damage. So that education there is, I feel like that sets me apart. But there's a lot of hairstylists that also do the same, you know, they're hair nerds themselves to really understand like the anatomy of the hair. But I feel like I'm the opposite of the whole quantity over quality. It's all about quality. Quality time spent, quality education, discussions, open discussions, communication.
Not a lot of people can communicate. It's really like I've grown to understand that, like where I'm at now, like people think they can, but like holy crap.
It's hard.
It's hard to actually portray how you feel.
For sure.
Because not a lot of people like to say how they
For
feel.
sure.
They don't like to like. A lot of people feel attacked when they do, or
Yeah.
or judgment,
For
egos.
Sure. You have people sit in my chair, and like the
Yeah.
thing is that what I've realized that no one's coming for me. I'm kind of like a luxury in people's lives. Yeah, okay, you can treat hair as like a maintenance thing. It's like it grows, you need to cut it and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like I always find myself more of like a luxury. People want to feel better about themselves. So am I achieving that at the end of our appointment? And if I'm not, you know, am I really taking the time out to like ask them proper questions to make sure? Because you know there's been people that sat in my chair that literally just I just don't know what I don't like about it. I just don't like it. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm not going anywhere. We could sit here and talk about it and we'll figure it out. You know, it takes an immense amount of patience, communication, and to not really take people's like words for what their actual face value is. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many things that are probably going on in their lives that they're not telling you.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be frustrated with their hair because, you know, they might not be happy with the way that they're looking in general.
Yeah.
It might not just be what you did.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a huge thing too that sets me apart. That you won't offend me if you
Yeah.
just communicate. If you just straight up and sit there and say like, oh, the haircut that you gave me is really ugly, I probably would have hit you like, okay, well, what do you think is ugly about it?
Yeah.
You know, like I can't help you if you don't tell me.
Yeah. No, I could definitely understand that what sets you apart is knowledge and communicating
And patience.
and patience.
I have a lot of patience.
Yeah. And honestly, it's a vibe whenever I come. Like, you could just sit and chill and chit chat. It's like a barber. What did you call it? Hair therapy?
Oop, my bad.
You're good.
I don't know if you
Well-
guys can hear that.
Well,
I think this is it, right?
this is it,
It is
yeah.
therapy.
it's
Therapy.
therapy for sure.
Come through, come visit, or just come kick it.
Yeah. Seriously. Literally, I would come just to kick it.
Thanks, Kathy, for this interview.
No, yeah, I think it was great.
Yeah.
And got to know a little bit more about your scoot and boot, whatever you want to call it. I was like, what?
Don't drink and scoot.
Yeah, there you go. Don't scoot the boot, the drink and boot, scoot. All right, well, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
And
And then, you know, we'll interview you next.
yeah, on the next podcast.
Bye.
Bye.
What do we do?
I don't
It's
know.
like this one, this
shit-
one.
What the?
Oh, it was this first.
I don't remember.
This.
We did it together.
Yeah, we did.
It was okay.
Okay.
This.
This.
All right. Bye.